Welcome back to our second podcast. Today we got a special guest. Roll the intro.
Alright guys, welcome back to the Swag Show. We got a special guest here today. We got Carson Van Lin out of the University of Pittsburgh, starting offensive tackle. And we're here to interview him and ask him some questions about Pitt football. Alright, say hi Carson.
What's up, fellas? How are you doing?
Good, how about you?
Good. How are you? I got some questions. So, your first three games, you guys beat Austin Peeve, Syracuse, and Louisville. Your defense looked like the best in the country. What was the locker room like? The locker room, I guess, type of vibe. What was it like? Emotions. When knowing you have the
The
best
locker room
defense.
vibe were good. I mean, what'd you say?
What was like the emotions in the locker room after the first three wins of the season?
I mean, they were very good. We have a very positive team. I think. Like after those three games, we kind of knew what we could be, and we knew what we could do. And the whole thing about college football is just positivity and your attitude going into each week. And I think that's something that our team does very well is forgetting about what happened the week before and just moving along. And I think throughout the season that stayed true. We always had a good mindset going into things, and some things don't work out like they should. But at the end of the day, every week we went in and just thought we could win every game. So you got to treat it week by week, and then just hope for the best.
Yeah. I mean, Pickett was throwing the ball really well early on in the season and even through the season until didn't he get hurt in the Boston College game, like at the end of that Boston College game?
Yeah, he got hurt during the Boston College game, and then actually finished the game.
Yeah.
And then he had to sit out for 2 weeks. But yeah, that was a pretty bad injury for our team, obviously, because he's our leader and he's the quarterback, so it kind of sucked.
Yeah, I see. He kind of runs the offense, doesn't he? Like the main,
Yeah,
he's like your main hype guy.
When you have a quarterback like that, and a guy who's been around the system for 4 years, and you have an offensive coordinator who he's been around, he's comfortable with, it's more or less like a working relationship than anything. I think Kenny and Coach Whipple, our offensive coordinator, have a degree of trust within each other, and Coach Whipple understands that Kenny understands the game, and I think Kenny's given a lot of leeway in what he can do, and that just comes with experience. I mean, that comes with any position on the field, but when you have a coordinator and a quarterback working together rather than just working for each other, then I think you're bound for success. And I think that shows a lot. His success is why is because of that relationship he has with Coach Whip.
Yeah.
So, what's the workout schedule like for a football player, offensive football player?
So do you want to? What do you want to? Do you want to know the in-season schedule or like the set schedule I'm doing as of now, or I can go into both?
Go into both.
So typically, during the fall, you'll wake up at 6:30. You'll get to the facility around 7. I'll eat breakfast, and then we at about 8:00 we start our team meeting. So we'll go about 15 minutes of the team meeting, then we all break off to our individual meetings, and then individual meetings run for about an hour, and then you go to the locker room, get ready. Got practice for about 2.5 hours. So at about noon, you get out of practice, and you got to shower, and I'm usually home around like 2. So I'm there from 6 to 2 in the season, and then now we wake up. Everybody wakes up at 5:30 in the morning. We have a team run at 6 o'clock, and then I have to go into the facility and meet with my O-line coach with the whole line, and we go over scheme and go over 10:30, and then I'm done with our lift at around 12. So I get home at about 2. So every day I'm up at 5:30 in the morning, and I get home at 2 and gotta start schoolwork, and I have no time to do anything. But the So yeah, it's pretty busy, pretty hectic, but it's all manageable and unless you manage your time and it's just an overall big time commitment. But once you get in the swing of things, it's super easy. The hardest part I would say about the schedule is when you go through phases of freedom, I guess. So like a lot of times when guys at the college level get some freedom, like if we get a month off or something, it's always hard getting back into that work zone. But once you get into your little work zone and you understand that you're just here to work and get better, then it all comes together.
All right. I have a question. How is Coach Narduzzi as like a coach? Is he very like uplifting, always positive, or does he have like that rough side?
I think with any head coach, there needs to be a line between friend and coach, and I think Coach Dews does that very well. I think the culture we have at Pitt is unbelievable. Every grad transfer that we've ever had came in and said that this is better than any school they've been to. So Coach Dews is a player's coach for sure. I could walk into our facility and go in his office and talk to him for an hour if I wanted to. His door's always open. I have his phone number. I can call him and he'll answer anytime I want. He really just wants the best for players, but at the same time, if you're slacking or if you're not doing the right thing, then he's gonna chew you out. And I think that's the best way to do it because we all know that he's in our corner. We all know that he wants us to be successful, but at the end of the day, he has a job to do, and it's his job to uphold that standard that we've kind of given ourselves. So I'm very blessed to have Coach Narduzzi in my life. I think he does an amazing job, and it just speaks for our overall culture. I mean, we haven't had a guy transfer from Pitt because of a coaching error or coach something related to coaching. So I think that speaks a lot to who he is and what kind of person he is and all that good stuff. So
Yeah. So now that all the people out there that are willing to go D1, what kind of hard work and commitment does it take to go D1 in the sport they want? Can you go through what hard work it took you?
I think it takes a lot of work, and I think it takes a lot of luck. I think if you have a good work ethic and you work hard and you just want the best for yourself. At the end of the day, you gotta look out for yourself and just do what's good for you. And I think a lot of that has to do with genetics. I think a lot of that has to do with work ethic. And I mean, some guys are just born with. I think my genetics kind of just went from themselves. So Division II level, I don't think any football player looks down on. As a Division I football player, I don't look down on anybody who plays football at any level. I think you making a commitment to play football at another level is the same thing that I'm doing. And I actually respect the people who go lower than Division I more because they're not paying for it. I mean, they're paying to go to school and it's just for the love of the game. And but yeah, I think it all comes back to just genetics and how you are as a person. I think if you treat people the way you want to be treated, you have a positive mindset, you work hard, and things will fall in line with itself. I don't think there's one thing that a guy can do to make him more marketable to a Division I program other than just being who you are, working hard, and keeping your head down and just working.
Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah. What is your mindset before you go into a game, like the week before, when you know you're gonna have to go play like a player like Trevor Lawrence or a really good quarterback that you know is gonna be a high draft pick?
Great question.
The first thing that comes to our mind is let's shock the world. You know, we were playing Clemson this year and we beat Clemson before. We knew we could beat them, and it was more just having a positive mindset and going in with the mentality that you can beat anybody. You know, it's no one's invisible. The guy, at the end of the day, Trevor Lawrence is a man. I'm a man. We're all men, and it's just who can get the job done better. And I think going in there prepared, going in there with the right mindset is the biggest thing. Because one thing that my O-line coach, Coach Borsch, preaches all the time is you can't let the team beat you twice. So if we're playing Clemson, we can't let Clemson beat us twice because what if they beat us in the mental game and the physical game? Then we lost twice. You can never go into a game thinking that you don't have a shot because at the end of the day, if you think you don't have a shot, then you don't have a shot. So I think the biggest thing about that is just going in with a positive mindset and treating it just like any other game. You can't treat big games any differently because because that'll get you beat. It's just getting a routine, and the O line has a routine of every weekday at 7:00 we go in and watch film as a group, and the O line's a super close knit group, and we watch film every week, and that doesn't change every week whether we're playing Austin P or we're playing Clemson. We're preparing the same way, we have the same attitude, we have the same mindset, and then that's just what it comes down to is making sure that everyone's positive, everyone's mindset, and everyone believes you can win because everyone you're capable of so much more as a human than you think at the end of the day, and it just goes back to having a positive mindset in everything you do and just getting after it.
So, how do you guys feel about going into next season?
We feel amazing. I mean, there's competition at every position on the field. Everybody on the field is competing. There's not a spot really besides quarterback that's set in stone. And I think our team understands this. Everyone on our team is working hard in the weight room. We all know what our goals are. We all know what we need to do. We all know kind of the plan that's laid out. I mean, we had a bunch of guys leave, but at the end of the day, that's kind of a blessing in disguise because that's just going to fuel more fires in spring ball. Every position group, there's no starters here, so every day you got to go in, you got to compete, you got to really take your job, and that's what's going to drive our team, I think, to be super successful next year is that competition aspect, because every day people are trying to get better, and when you have a guy who's been in a role for a couple of years and he kind of doesn't have anyone pushing him, what's pushing him to get better? But if you're going into spring ball every day with people trying to take your position away from you, it's kind of stressful, and it's very stressful, and that's just, I mean, it's going to make me a better player. It's going to make my teammates a better player. It's just going to elevate the whole thing. So I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. I think that's the thing that people don't understand looking from an outside in is how valuable competition really is, especially in the off season. We're going to have spring ball, we're going to have camp, and at the end of the day, we have the athletes to do it, so who says we can't,
Yeah, you got Pickett's back for his 5th year this year, right?
Yes, he is. This will be his 5th year.
Yeah, you got your 5th year quarterback. I'm looking at your schedule here. It's a pretty favorable schedule for you guys. I mean, you guys play Clemson again, which is, it's always going to be a tough matchup, always going to be a dogfight with Clemson. You guys start the year off with UMass, Tennessee, Western Michigan, UNH, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. Then you play Clemson on October 23rd.
That Clemson game is going to be great. That's in Heinz Field too, so that's going to be a really cool atmosphere, definitely.
Yeah.
As a player, for what, 4 years now? Have you been playing?
Yeah, it'll be 4 years in June.
Do you yourself have any teams that you just always know it's going to be a really good fight? You're going to have to play your all out 110%.
Yeah, I think that's with a lot of teams. I would say the by far the toughest, most disciplined team that I've ever faced is Notre Dame, and that's not even a question. When we played, my first collegiate start was against Notre Dame as a redshirt freshman, and just the way that they're so disciplined, and everybody's just trying to win at that program. It's kind of that's kind of their motto is discipline and doing the right thing and doing what you can do, and they kind of just go out there and do what they're taught, and you don't really see anything else. It's just head down and work. You don't see all the extra stuff after the whistle, all the stupid stuff. But yeah, Notre Dame is definitely my top team of in that field of just you're going to get their best. We're going to give it our best. So let's give it our all.
Yeah, I love also how you guys almost have an underdog mentality every time. You guys really aren't getting the 5 stars like Clemson's getting, but you guys are working what you get in the recruiting classes and you breed them into NFL ready players within the 4 years they're there.
Mhm.
And it just reminds me how almost like you almost play Clemson like almost every year, and how you can almost hang with like the big dogs when they have 5 stars going up against like a 3-star wide receiver, and it's just amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, stars don't really matter. That's one thing that we tell every freshman who come in. It doesn't matter if you're a 5-star or 3-star. I'm still going to treat you the same. I'm still going to look at you the same. If you're messing up on the field or you're messing up in the weight room, you're going to be treated the exact same as someone who's coming in with a lot of hype. At the end of the day, you're just a guy, and how disciplined you want to be, how much you want to buy into the program is what's going to make you successful. And I think that's what really separates some of the teams from each other is the whole buying in process and the discipline of what it takes to be a college football player. I mean, people don't understand how showing up on time and doing the right thing and just being a good dude is important to a football team. If you have 110 guys buying into a standard of a football team, you have 110 guys who see the goal of the head coach and are doing everything they can in their power to replicate his ideas and do it. And I think it all just ties back to pride in your university, pride in yourself, pride in your teammates, and just buying in. I mean, you saw what Iowa State did. Iowa State's in the same position we're in, and I watched that game and the just to see the enjoyment and the environment of the post game interview, even with the head coaches. You can tell their entire team has bought into that program, and their entire team is doing what it takes to win that game. And they went into the Fiesta Bowl and won a New Year's 6 bowl with people who aren't even close to recruiting caliber. As I forget who they played. Let me look that up. Didn't they play? I don't even know who they play. Oregon. They played Oregon. So, and I think that's just a picture-perfect game of what can happen if you have an entire team buy in and respect the standard that's been set. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, they're getting the athletes, but you need to find a way to win. That's not athletic ability, and I think that's the standard. That's the discipline. That's the mindset. That's all the intangibles other than athletic ability. And I think at some point that surpasses the talent.
Yeah, I agree. How much, I know I'm a Pitt season ticket holder. I know how much the fans mean to you guys and how much they give you, like, your momentum boost. What was it like not having all of them there to hype you guys up to just get that atmosphere? Yeah.
It was we actually pumped crowd noise in, so it kind of felt normal in a sense, I guess. I don't really, but it was definitely the weirdest one for sure was the first game. I mean, Paris got a pick like on the first drive, and there's absolutely no motion anywhere, and it didn't even feel like an interception. But to be honest with you, I mean, I started against Notre Dame at Notre Dame, sold out. I've played in Miami. I played against Clemson in the ACC championship. I've been into some pretty loud places. And, at the end of the day, as a player, the crowd noise really isn't as much of a factor as people think. But don't get me wrong. When it gets loud, it's definitely a factor. But just the overall fan atmosphere is not really a big factor because when I'm in the huddle, I'm the only thing I'm thinking about is my assignment. So I go in the huddle and I hear Kenny telling me what the play is, and my mind is on football. It's not on the fans, and I think the only thing that fans can bring to the table, honestly, is crowd noise in very tight situations. I think that's the most important thing for sure to having a fan base, is because when you're like, for example, when we played Miami, they're in a dome, and I was playing tight end, and I was so far out I couldn't even hear what Kenny was saying. So like that affected me getting off the ball. That affected like everything about, because I was one step later than everybody. And when you're playing against a 260-pound Division I defensive end, 1 second of of a cheat is a lot. And I think having that crowd noise kind of helped and hurt us a little bit. But when we played any big game, there was fans there. Like Clemson was pretty loud. But yeah, it really wasn't as strange as most people are making it out to be. I would say the biggest thing was the home field and away field advantage of just like that crowd noise and hearing, because you see a lot of these people get false start penalties.
All right, we got one last question for you. So playing offensive line, going up against NFL stars like that are going to be pretty good, like Patrick Jones, Jalen Twyman, Rashad Weaver. What was it like going up against them in practice, just battling with the future NFL players?
It was definitely a great learning experience, and I think the biggest thing that comes out of that, and I didn't really go up against Patrick and Weaver as much as it seems, but I think the guys who benefit the most from Pat and Weave's talent is the scout guys, because during the season I'm going up against a redshirt or like true freshman defensive end who doesn't really know what he's doing yet, you know. And those scout guys are like going against two first round potential picks, you know, every single day. And I think they gain a lot of talent and a lot of good advice from them, and it's kind of a working thing that those guys are working every single day. They're going 20 snaps a scout period against each other, and those guys definitely benefited from the most is getting that first experience with a first round guy and just seeing how he plays. Because once you go up against a guy who's that good, everybody else just seems just really average. Like you can really tell the difference between going against one of those guys and then a guy who doesn't really know what he's doing. And I think that's a great blessing that a lot of people don't understand is when you're playing on scout team, it's really easy to get into a mind.
Hello? Thank you.
Oh. Hey, Carson.
What's up?
Thank you.
Thanks, Carson.
Yeah, that's all we need, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for all the love and support on our latest podcast. We're just here to make more content for you guys.
Yep. Like and subscribe for another podcast.
Thank you, guys.